Well, hello everybody on this Wednesday midweek. Still looking for snow here in the Twin Cities and much of southern Minnesota, but the East Coast, you probably heard by now, is going to get walloped with the nor'easter. And if you know any meteorologists or forecasters on the East Coast, give them an air hug today. Let them know you're thinking about them, because these storms are very fickle, and this one in particular too, and it's a headache. But everything coming together now. Big wave moving across the southeast. Ample supply to Gulf moisture. You can see that plume of cloud cover coming all the way from the Gulf, feeding into the northeast, and plenty of cold sitting around in the northeast, which is always the issue they have, whether they're going to see snow or not. Usually it's cold enough here for snow, but even Long Island, all of it below freezing, into New York and much of Pennsylvania as well. Now they are going to get a little push of warmth, and this is going to be one of the several forecasting headaches. How far north does that milder air aloft get? This is above the ground, so that's what could turn things over to a mix or maybe some rain. So the extent of how far north that gets is going to be a factor. So places like DC are going to see snow turn to rain, so very little in the way of accumulations there. And then places like Philadelphia kind of riding the edge. It does look as though most of New York City, Manhattan stays all snow. Maybe a brief mix tomorrow night or late tonight rather, but mostly all snow, heavy snowfall too. And so that's why things are going to add up. So here's the snowfall accumulation through today into tonight and tomorrow, all the way up the eastern seaboard here. And again, it's going to really depend upon how close you are to that very narrow snowfall gradient. This is looking at New Jersey into Philadelphia, 35-mile stretch. You go from nothing to a foot of snow. So that's the headache they're dealing with. Every little shift matters. So again, places like DC, maybe a couple of slushy inches, but they're going to be kind of back and forth into a mix and rain. Philadelphia is going to be the really complicated one, because they're right on the edge of possibly getting a lot of heavy snow, or it could be a bust if they get that dry slot and they get too much warm air moving just a few miles. And then New York does look to get dumped on here, probably over 10 inches of snow. But even there's that question mark. If that dry slot gets a little too far north, that could change things too. Boston, looks like there's no way out of it. A lot of snow there, potentially over a foot. And then, of course, you get further from the coast, the snow will really add up, because they don't have the issues of the warmer air making its way in. Now, we are looking at a couple of systems here. A light snow maker late Friday into Friday night could give us another dusting, kind of like what we had on Sunday. A little bit better chance of a coating for places in northern Minnesota. And then northern Minnesota again could get a coating, it looks like, later in the weekend with another clipper system. But then a more significant system, not a big storm, but something to watch here. Tuesday night into Wednesday could bring us some snow just in the nick of time. It is a question, though, of will it be far enough south? Models still all over the place, but not as bad as yesterday. They're starting to hone in on a track. So again, a coating of snow for northern Minnesota, maybe an inch or two for some spots, probably just a dusting here, another dusting to a coating for northern Minnesota Sunday. And then that system comes out of the west late Tuesday into Wednesday, bringing potentially several inches of snow in somewhere in central and northern Minnesota. So the European model, a little further north with that track, gives us very little. The American model, slightly further south, maybe giving us a better chance of closing in on an inch. But the Canadian model, if you're a snow lover, this is the one you want, really spreading the love. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's spreading it out more over a larger area. So we look at three models that go out far enough to see towards late next week. All of them pretty meager. The Canadian, again, that's the most aggressive. You average them together, maybe we get an inch, so we might barely pull off the official definition of a white Christmas. And then a huge drop in temperatures here. Most of the models agree on that. Now, how cold we get by Christmas Eve is a bit of a question mark, but it does look definitely colder, and maybe even the first near zero temperatures for some of us that haven't seen that yet. But big push of warmth ahead of that. Monday looks to be the peak of the warmth. We're talking 20 degrees above normal for some spots. A Canadian model, most aggressive, throwing out a 52. Again, I think that's an outlier, but looks like we'll be well into the 40s here Monday, possibly Sunday too. And then that cold breaks through. Doesn't look like a major pattern change, but definitely some colder air moving in Christmas Eve into Christmas Day that could drop those temperatures into the coldest territory we've seen yet, at least. But in the meantime, fairly mild, near 30 today, some high clouds, a little more cloud cover around tomorrow, but near freezing. Warmer Friday, but pretty gray, close to 40, and then we'll see those light snow showers by evening, maybe even mixing with a little drizzle, because temperatures will be fairly mild. Again, we don't get much out of that here in the metro, just a dusting. Saturday, the clouds should clear, should see some sunshine, close to 40 already by Sunday, and then Monday well into the 40s. So if we do get a dusting or a coating Friday night, it's gone. So we're depending completely on that Tuesday night, Wednesday storm. Will it be far enough south to bring us some snow literally in the nick of time. And then it does get colder regardless behind that system for late next week.